Hey, kia ora, Markie here again with another quick one on the hoof. So shaky camera, held the wrong way up as per usual because these videos are kind of spontaneous and immediate. Now I am standing by the roadside waiting for a taxi, which shouldn't be for a little while, so we may get interrupted by cars going past and stuff like that. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. A little bit noisy in the background, also got a nice kind of bird song. I'm in the South Island, which is unusual. I'm kind of living in the North Island, so I don't come here very often, and when I do, it's usually a really kind of quick visit and I don't get to look around or anything. I kind of come here, do my mahi, as the Maori for work, and then shoot off back, and that's kind of going to be fairly similar today. I've got a little bit of time before I fly back. I mean, probably mainly spent at the airport, so I might be doing some more blogs or vlogs, as I should say. So part 4, I believe, of social skills for Aspies and Askies. Okay, so again, another quick one. We talked last time about smiling. So the thing about smiling is all these things are about balance, really. You know, not to smile at all, which I should have talked about in the last video, is not good. Smiling is an essential kind of human communication signal, really. But kind of smiling all the time is not good either. And eye contact is similar. So one of the kind of classic things, and one of the ways that people judge whether you're on the autistic spectrum is, you know, they will say things like, well, you can't be on the autistic spectrum because you made eye contact with me. So often, you know, that's how people, neurotypical people, kind of view these things, even professionals. Now, of course, as Aspies and Askies, we often take things very literally. So if we hear something like, or it's important to make eye contact, we can end up kind of becoming kind of starey Mary, and making very intense eye contact all the time, which is also not good. Okay, so there are times when it's really important to make eye contact. It's really important to make eye contact when greeting and saying farewell, or when someone is sharing something, you know, significant. But it's also important not to make constant eye contact. So one way of doing this is to spend a little bit of time, you know, looking at people's eyes, and then just kind of let your eyes kind of just find a spot on their forehead, or just look generally in their direction. But most important, like I say, when meeting, so when somebody kind of says hello, particularly if you're shaking hands with somebody, that's a really important time not to look away. So that's when to use eye contact. So not glaring and staring, and not kind of avoiding eye contact either. Somewhere in the middle. Okay, and you know, practice. Take your time with it. You don't have to kind of, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, to use an unhelpful metaphor. It probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people with on the autistic spectrum, as these kind of sayings often don't, but quite habitual for me. So you know, learn a bit at a time. You know, don't be too hard on yourself. You know, it takes a long time to kind of form habits. So yeah, I think that's. I had something else that I was about to say that I'm sure was brilliant, but it kind of slipped into the back of my mind a little bit there. So again, balance. You know, make sure you do use, even if you just bring in a little, if you're not used to making eye contact, even if you just bring in a little bit of eye contact, just at the point when you're shaking somebody's hand, just at the point when you're saying hello and goodbye, that's going to make a huge difference to how your kind of how your social interactions are. And if you're into making intense eye contact and stuff, then just to learn to just soften that, and just maybe, you know, sometimes look, if you just focus your gaze, that's one of the tips, is to kind of just focus your gaze around here. You know, just the forehead area, and then it looks like eye contact, but it doesn't have that intensity, that kind of, because one of the things about kind of intense eye contact is it can be threatening. You know, often one of the things that people do when they are aggressive, or they wanted to show aggression, is they'll do a hard stare and won't look away. And guys particularly get locked into staring matches where they stare at each other, and the first one to look away is kind of the loser. It's a sign of weakness. So and also, if you stare as guys, if you're a male and you stare intently at women, you're going to scare the Jesus out of them. Is really, you know, experience is quite funny, and that's why, you know, one of the reasons why people on the spectrum are often experienced as creepy. People say that they're creepy because, you know, there can be that kind of staring going on. So somewhere in the middle, okay, and forgetting whatever it was that I was going to say that was so brilliant, we'll put it in the, if I think of it, I'll put it in the description box below. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this video. We're going to be doing more. It's going to be a long running series. Sorry it's taken me a while to get back to this. There's a big gap between the start, which is often the way with me, and that's partly because I've got ADHD as well as being on the spectrum. So often, you know, I can be full of excitement and passion of what I'm into at the moment, and then I'll get onto something else and be excited and passionate about that. So videos are often quite diverse, and I'm not always very good at following up series. So if there's any series of mine that you follow and I haven't kind of finished them or caught up with them or got back to them, let me know, and with your encouragement I'll get my finger out and get on with that. So from the South Island, Rangimarie.